The Old School Book Club was initiated by one of our teachers, Ryan. We were in conversation in professional development around how to build community with children around printed text. So really it started with a conversation between the faculty in one of our professional development sessions and really grew from there.
Well, for a long time, the school has had our multi-age bird buddy community groups where kids from across multiple grade levels will meet together to do projects, community building activities. We were looking for ways to embed more academic work or embed more work around diversity and equity and justice and community topics. And we thought that the Bird Buddies program could be a venue for that sort of activity.
So what we do first is we read it to just our class. We have a conversation then. Then we move on to reading it as a whole school together in the gym. And then we move on to reading it in our Bird Buddy classes with those multi-age groups. There's a lot of wonderful picture books out there that people might not be using to their full potential. And so we thought of a bunch of different books. We really looked closely at them. We decided on things that we could do to strengthen the kids' vocabulary, the common vocabulary across kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade, and building those relationships in our Bird Buddies, and just kind of seeing the world in a different way, going back to our mission of making the world a better place.
Taking a look at what's relevant in what culturally and worldwide is relevant right now, and also what's relevant in the school too. So making sure that kids have kind of that personal connection, but then also seeing outside of themselves and seeing out into the greater world and introducing maybe some things that they hadn't really thought about.
Well, we usually do something related to something in the book. Like for Worm and Caterpillar, our friends, we did something to see our differences, and we used different beads, all the ways to be smart. We did something for that too. We wrote all the things we were good at and saw how different we were, which was fun.
We get to read some great books, super fun. They choose the best books. And then we have some really good activities, like we have to figure out, and we make friends with, and we figure out a lot of stuff about our family. We made cards, and we'd write people we love on them. There's a lot of just activities and great books.
I learned that everybody has different similarities and different things in common.
I think especially when you have activities that everybody's doing something a little bit different, it's really cool to see how they're different and how they're a little same. I think a lot of the themes inside of the book is being accepting of people and being kind to them no matter what.
I thought in the Worm and the Caterpillar book, the fact that there was a little hidden story inside of it where the caterpillar was scared that the worm would not like how it changed, but it was the fact that the worm didn't care because it was still him inside.
Mine was probably the one for a family like ours, because we would get these envelopes and the seal would be a heart, it was kind of heart shaped, and we'd draw on it and write a letter to our family.
We didn't create it as an accountability measure at all, but it does help us make sure that are we addressing certain topics in all of our classrooms, and are we addressing certain topics in a multi-age, multifaceted way.
So rather than having shared reading around just a book in the classroom, even though that practice wasn't going to end at each developmental level, we were just really curious about this notion of what if the whole school read a book together, adults, children, around a chosen text, and what energy would that bring? And what opportunities would that engender for us to think about who we were as a whole school community?